Hello everyone and welcome to What is Your Mod? Today we are going to look at Micromod made by Eric. So, Eric, what is your mod? I've already said it's Micromod, but you can explain it a bit better.
Micromod is one of the mod I created during a few years. It was not my first mod. My first mod, I was a really absolute beginner at the time. I had a lot of help from one of the Order of Battle players, and he basically he created units, factions, all the stuff I needed. So when the time came to and that was a Korean mod, the Korean War in the 1950s. So for my next projects, which was basically a France 1940 campaign, I needed a new mod with new units. I wanted more French commanders. Basically, there was none there in the standard game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got that mod up and running with the knowledge I had gathered from creating the Korean mod. And then I just basically published it with the France 1940 scenario, and then I've used the same mod for a lot of other stuff, like multiplayer scenarios where you need for instance, two normal German players, one Germany player and one Wehrmacht player, two Soviet players, stuff like that, for multiplayer games. And I kind of fallen in love with mods.
Yes, this is it's heartening to hear that someone helped you get established in modding, and it's also funny to hear something which I know for myself to be true, having made some mods for some games myself, is that it is very easy to end up spending your time modding and not actually playing the game, right?
Yep, that's definitely true. But I always like to tinker with games ever since my board gaming days in the 1970s, which should give you an indication of that I'm a grown up.
No,
I'm a grown up.
no,
uh,
stop making me feel old. Although I suppose technically you're going to make me feel young. I'm a little bit
yeah,
younger than you, but
yeah.
not by a mile.
Most people are, so that's okay. But I always like to tinker with games. Um, and some of you may know the game, The Operational Art of War. I created some scenarios for that in back. I started in 1998, I think it was released, and so I always like to tinker with games. Whenever I buy a game nowadays, I always make sure that it has an editor, because I like to dive into the editor
Yeah.
and see how things look. And I mean, other games than Order of Battle is maybe a nice source for things you need to information about specific battles and so on. I
Yeah,
have
it's
I have sorry, I bought, I think I have maybe like 50 different games that I have never played, but I know the inside out of the games from the editor,
oh,
because
that's amazing.
I've used that information for creating in Order of Battle, because Order of Battle is my favorite game.
Oh, that's
Lucas,
cool.
who designed it, he got it right the first time. Of course, he based it on the old Panzer Corps, which was based on the old Allied general kind of games from way back. But that Order of Battle still works for me.
Yeah,
I love the game. Simply love the game.
I got my start as well on for turn-based games. I got my start on Panzer General. I think almost everybody played a Panzer General. Yeah, almost anybody our age, let's generously say anyone 30 plus probably got their turn-based start on Panzer General. So that's cool, and it's also cool to hear that the map editor really drove you to modding, because that's how I started, and I think that's how a lot of modders started. And some people sort of look down on map editing, saying, "Well, it's not real modding," but it really was. Most people got their start. I got my start in StarCraft. It had one of the most powerful level editors of its time. That was like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, a long time ago, and a lot of the maps in that game made with scripting. It was one of the first editors with scripting tools. That scripting tools led to whole genres of games. League of Legends got its start in the StarCraft map editor. Many people don't know that. League, try to think of the other ones, like the whole MOBA genre, basically. The tower defense genre, the same. Quite a few things. We got a lot of people in the chat saying hello. But I think what we should do now is get it installed, get your mod installed, and let's play it. Let's have a look at it. So I've downloaded Micromod here. I've downloaded the folder from your thread. I'll link this thread in the chat so people have got access to it. And then I've just opened up Micromod, and I've got all these folders here. Now I presume that this just goes into the order of battle save game folder. Is that correct?
Yeah, under the when you install Order of Battle, it creates a My Games folder with everything Order of Battle, and that's where you normally find single player or multiplayer scenarios, campaigns, everything that's not the official stuff, because that's in the install folder wherever you install the game itself. So it's nicely set up, because you have an empty folder at start that is called mods, and you simply put like the Micromod inside the mods folder, and it should work. It should work.
Okay, so in mods, do I put the Micromod folder in there, or do I put the folders inside the Micromod folder there?
No, you put the Micromod folder, the top folder level.
So it will read like this PC documents my games, Order of Battle 2, World War 2, mods, and then Micromod.
Yeah, I'm going to just open my own My Games folder just to make sure that I don't lie to you.
That's okay.
Yeah, so in my My Games folder, there's an Order of Battle World War II folder, and there are several folders: campaigns, cores, launcher, mods.
Yep, that's correct.
Random maps, replays, save games, scenarios, screenshots, settings, and skins. And when I open my mods folder, then I have one folder called Korea, which was my first mod, and the next one is Micromod, and I have a mod called Naval Mod, which deals with the British Navy against the Italian Navy, and I have my most specific mode, Squad Mode, which is the terrain and everything is in a different scope. So artillery ranges are different. There are lots of mortars and lots of stuff for squad level play. I have several campaigns that are in that squad mode, but Micromod is the better one to start looking into, because it's a bit simpler than a couple of those other mods.
Yeah, so just to make it clear, all of your mods are available in your forum thread, which I've linked in the Twitch chat, and I will link on the YouTube description later. All the ones you just talked about was there. And for us, I just downloaded Micromod and I've put the Micromod folder in mods, and that's the only folder in there for now because that's the only mod that I've installed. But you can install the other mods in here in the same way.
Yeah, and let me just mention there's also an official mod, the Battle of Britain mod that Lucas created when the Order of Battle was an infant, so to speak. So and I think you can download that mod from the launch screen when the game opens up. I think you have in the top right
community
corners.
chest, yeah.
Yeah, yes. So, and for everybody that would like to look at the inside of a mod, that is probably the best way to start because it's really simple, and it's only basically I think it's one scenario like a Battle of Britain scenario inside, but there are a few units, some air units, anti-aircraft, a little bit of stuff. So it's a nice place to go and see how does a mod look.
Yeah,
it's a good way to start.
So when you I've just opened up Order of Battle, having installed the mod, and when we load up the game, instead of getting the main screen like you normally would, we now have the mod launcher screen that is showing us the original game and Micromod, which we can select to play.
Yeah. And I really hope that you have no problems with the famous black screen bug relating to mods. I had that a couple of times. Earlier, it was a lot of problems with it, and then there was a player that was experimenting a bit with something, a text file inside there. I can't remember, some commander stuff or something, and then it suddenly worked. And I had that with Micromod recently. What I then had to do was close it to desktop, start the game, starting the standard game, close that to the desktop, and go inside the game again, and then select the mod, and then it was okay. So there was some gremlin in there. I don't know what it is, but there was a workaround. So
yep, cool. It's loaded up successfully for me, so we can see Micromod here. The community chest that you were talking about earlier is in the top right corner here. It's under where my face is on the stream. Just up here. this chest that you can barely see. If you click this, you can download some of the smaller mods. But the larger mods, you can't get there. You have to go to our scenario forum because there's a size limit on how big a community chest mod can be up here. But this is a good place to get started with mods.
One thing is that when I try to open Twitch in the browser, it just stays on the login, the JPEG. I can't get past that for some reason. Maybe it's just me.
Hang on. You should be able to watch the stream without logging in. You shouldn't need to log in or anything. Hang on.
Yeah, if I click on the Twitch picture, then I just get that picture in my browser. But if I click on the moderator Slytherin TV, I need a username and a password to get into.
I've given you a different link. I accidentally gave you a bad link. My bad.
Oh. Okay.
I gave you a bad link. I've given you a good link.
Ah, yeah.
So you should now be able to see what I'm seeing.
Right. Good.
Okay. So I'm looking at your beautiful picture for your France 1940 campaign, and then there seems to be some other ones as well. Oh, there seems to be two.
Yeah, I'm still watching the ad.
No, the adverts, I know, it's so annoying. It really is.
I hate those things.
Yeah.
There you are.
There I am. Here I am.
Yeah, the France 1914 in color and everything.
So which one would you recommend of your 2 campaigns to try here? We have Wacht im Rhein and France 1940.
France 1940, cause the Wacht am Rhein, which is the Battle of Bulge in German, actually, it's not actually a modded campaign. I just put it there because at some point, I wanted to add stuff into it that
But it just never happened.
It hasn't happened yet.
It hasn't happened yet.
Don't use the word never.
Okay, it's like all those still shrink wrapped games on your shelf. That
Right.
Yeah. Life's work on the shelf that will and we'll never say never, but probably won't get done.
Isn't that the James Bond saying, like never say never again or something? Yeah,
something like that. Okay, so you've got your own scenario introduction here.
I don't usually, I'm Norwegian, so I prefer whenever I get I need some text about something. I usually use the internet, or I find something about the battle or the campaign, which I can then just use copy paste.
Yeah.
And I may have to rewrite some stuff, but that's basically I'm a thief. I'm an honest thief, at least.
Jeg I Norge også, but jeg bedre I engelsk.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
I just said I'm in Norway, but I'm better in English.
Yeah, good.
I knew you were from Norway because you have the Norwegian English accent, which I'm so familiar with.
I see. It's impossible to hide.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Okay, so we have a French Army Corps. Can I buy anything yet? I presume not.
I usually, whenever I create scenarios or campaigns, I prefer to give the player the historical units. This is and that's quite different from the standard campaigns, because then you are usually you purchase stuff. But of course, I like historical things to be historical correct as much as possible. Give the players the tools, but of course you can change, you can upgrade if you have the resources and so on. You can sell stuff, may get a little bit of money back, and then maybe purchase something else. So yeah, that's just the way I prefer to play myself. Then there you see a perfect mod in the corner. General Gamelin is probably the correct French pronunciation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's shards in the chat there saying Edmund defaulting to 5-star difficulty, bit of a flex there. Yeah, I like really hard games. Okay, it's not a flex. It's just how I like to roll. And we also have someone saying Mr. Worldwide, but actually I only know Norwegian and a tiny bit of Japanese. I don't know any other, other than English. Obviously, I don't know any other languages. So I just lucked out this time. Of course, if you know Norwegian, then you can also speak Swedish and Danish. And to a limited extent, you can sort of barely communicate with Germans, but the one true weird language in this hemisphere is Finnish. It's just completely different.
Finnish, yeah, both the language and the people are completely different.
Right. So I've got the historical units here. Does this mean I'm historically doomed to get my ass kicked as well? I see the German invasion has started here. Commanding officer, Germans have invaded France and the Low Countries. This is where we will delay the German advance and inflict serious casualties to their heavier armoured units. Don't have any ground to stand on at all costs. However, it should be known that the Germans have some supply concerns and will probably prioritise taking over our airfields. We don't have air superiority here, but in light of this, delaying the German takeover of the northern airfields might help. There are a few natural obstacles in this area, perfect for quick armour movement, both German and ours. Germans' lightning advance must be delayed to gain 2 or 3 days necessary for the installation of the first French army between Wavre and Namur. I presume that's how that's pronounced.
Wavre, Namur. Yeah.
Okay, primary objectives. Destroy at least 8 Panzer 3s and 4s. Do not lose more than 1 tank unit. Destroy at least 2 Luftwaffe bombers. Destroy at least 1 Luftwaffe fighter.
Easy peasy.
Right, what have we got? A French guy with +2 against air. A British guy with +2 against infantry and land. Oh, the British guy with +2 against air, but offensive rather than defensive. And Maurice Gamlin, who is good against land units. Okay. I've never played as the French in a war game. I don't think many games officially cover what the French did because, I mean, they got folded pretty fast. Not to put too fine a point on it, but they were folded like wet tissue paper. And that, I guess that has to happen, doesn't it? Because if you try to do an alternative history where France won, the whole scope of the war would just be thrown out.
I think the object is to do better than the French did historically.
Okay, so I've got alive units. I don't have any money, so I'm going to presume I just got to use what I've been given.
You could check if you have any if those French core units are they in the reserve box? Can you deploy them elsewhere? There is a deployment. You are in the deployment mode, so I guess yeah. So you see you can yeah, you can deploy some of your guys at least. But as you can see, I've been pretty restrictive where you can do that.
Okay. Not a fan of heavy infantry. I find that it is slow and ponderous. Maybe I can break some of these bridges. Am I just moving the same unit around? I really am, actually. Actually, let's pick up these engineers and put them over here. I think I'm gonna break this bridge here. Okay. I got a lot of tanks at least.
The French tanks are actually quite good. They were heavier armed and basically better than the German tanks. But the French tanks, they didn't have any radios, so they were communicating by waving flags. Not the white one, that came later, but signal flags. Signal flags.
Not the white one that came later. Oh man, that's some burn.
Sorry.
we need some Savlon for that burn. Okay, put some artillery here. Let's pull this one up actually. Bit short on anti-aircraft guns.
I guess you've already noticed that I tend to make large scenarios.
Yeah, this is a pretty large scenario.
Yeah. So it's not for everyone. I know a couple of the regular players they prefer smaller ones because it's it's a lot of work and it may be difficult to just keep the oversight an overview of all your troops and where do I want to go, and it's harder to plan it right. Yeah.
He's British, so maybe I can only put him in a British unit. Aha, that was my problem. I'm like, why can't I assign this commander? I'm like, I haven't... you know...
Which commander are you trying?
I've forgotten his name now.
It's a British one or a French one?
No, it's a British one.
Yeah, I think the probably it was if you try to assign an air commander, then you really need to put it on an air unit.
It's Thomas A.F. Elderson. No, you can only assign him to a British unit. He wouldn't be assigned to a French.
No. British air unit. That's the only thing that works. But for modding, I could have assigned a French faction to the British commanders, and then you would be able to assign him to a French air unit. One of the joys of modding.
Yeah, I've got 2 more British pilots here, but I haven't got any more British planes to assign them to, really.
I wouldn't worry about that, because your your commanders, they get wounded very easily. Bit too easily in my view, but so then you'll have the other commander as kind of a backup, and you assign him.
Ah, okay. That was your thoughts on this.
Yeah. Usually, even in a one-to-one battle, and your unit wins the battle, the commander can still be wounded for like 6, 8, 10 turns. So they are fragile.
All right, the slaughter has commenced.
Oh, yeah.
Shards is like, did you really mean to put him on a Lysander? I didn't really have much choice, really. That was one of the 2 British planes I have.
Yeah, if one of the Brits was good for defending the air unit, that would be nice to put in the Lysander, because then maybe they will survive a bit longer when the Messerschmitts arrive. And you also notice that one thing with large scenarios, and especially, both the map is large and there are a large number of units, the AE takes its turn executing all its actions.
There's a lot of French shade being thrown in the chat right now. It's a bit harsh.
I see Charge is questioning your commanding abilities here.
Wow, he can question it all he wants.
Yeah.
I have beaten a couple of Order of Battle campaigns on the hardest difficulty, so
Oh, really?
yes.
I always play on the standard, the medium, and not because I'm fairly good player, but not great. Charge used to beat me, but the thing is, I'm not. Really don't like the difficulty level is implemented by adding or subtracting strength points
Yep.
from the AI units. I've never been comfortable with that way of doing it. I would like to do it with resources or supply or something. Yeah.
It makes enemy units quite spicy, for sure.
Yeah, especially when you see those. Hey, 13, a lucky number for me.
You can turn the AI animation speed up a bit, I think. This Shards is burning at the bit to see the next turn.
Yeah.
I like the animations. Am I alone in like actually wanting to watch the battle?
The AE is pretty good, especially at cutting supply. It loves to cut your supply.
There's a lot of shuffling going around up here.
But now it's almost done, maybe. Like it.
Okay, lots of movement in the north. I don't think Belgium's going to last long.
And if I remember correctly, are you controlling the Belgians, or is that a separate AI controlled faction? I can't remember.
You made so many mods for so long that you've forgotten what they're like.
Yeah, right. And that is especially it's difficult when some player reports some issue with one of the scenarios, and you haven't looked at that scenarios for 3 years. Uh, it's been a long time since I played this one. I played through it before I published it, and I haven't I haven't played it since. On to the next one.
We got a lot of planes shuffling around now.
Yeah. I wonder if it would be better if the AI moved the planes ahead of the ground units, attacking stuff.
Okay, I'm going to speed up the AI animations because the boss is whining. It needs to go faster. Okay.
But does it think faster, or is it just the movement of the units?
The thinking happens before the actual moving around.
Ah, okay, I see.
Like
Yeah.
everything is done by the time it starts animating.
Yep. Okay. Lots of units there. Ah, get him.
Oops, I misclicked there. I don't think I've got. Have I got undo on?
I think you need to change the difficulty level. Sorry, I'm sorry about that.
Nah, it's all right. It's I wouldn't have done any damage anyway. I was gonna take 3 losses and do basically nothing. So let's go to.
And you noticed another thing I like to do is to assign the enemy AI commanders.
Yes, I've just noticed that there's a
I-
Gunther roll here, and
Yeah. And that is all. I do that all the time, and basically to help the AI a bit, because the AI is pretty good, but experienced human will beat it. So I add the commanders, and I also add the proper specializations for that faction, which also helps the AI a bit. And I think it's a better way to do play balance stuff rather than adding more units.
do you remember off the top of your head what the shortcut is for tools? Laying mines, bridge breaking, and all that.
Tools? What kind of tools?
Engineers have got the ability to destroy bridges and lay mines and all that. Although I haven't got any money, so I probably can't do any of it.
No, you can't. You need at least 10 resources, I think,
Yeah, you
to
need
lay
10.
a
You need 10,
minefield.
10 prestige. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's a heavy weapons team. Hmm. The whole area is infested with German fighters, and I have no anti-air, and one fighter that's not very good. It's very worrying.
And it was a correct situation for the French. They had their the French air units were basically quite good, but the doctrine was really wrong, both in the air and on land. So that the Germans beat them basically by being better at commanding and planning and commanding stuff.
Okay, I'm making a wall. I hear that's also historical.
The Maginot Line.
The Maginot Line, yeah.
Well, the German just went around it.
Yeah, basically. That is what happened.
Basically, that was what happened.
I think I'll pull that back.
A good French strategy here is probably to hold back, make defense lines, usually infantry backed by anti-tank, and then let the Germans try to hit you and get the panzers get burned.
You'd not be surprised to hear that is exactly what I'm setting up. I'm 10 steps ahead of you here. I'm already literally making a wall right now, using this river here as the top end of the wall, and then this open ground is where my tank's gonna be, and then a backup wall down here to prevent flanking.
Good. So you can keep the difficulty level, I think.
I'm worried about my aircraft because I have no way to protect them, and these planes are frighteningly strong.
I would guess that the German units maybe have some unit experience, while
3.5 star, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got 3 bombers and 1 not great fighter.
Is that a Storch Aufklärung air unit on the left there? Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, looks like it.
Unfortunately, I can't see exactly what plane he's in because the hero's assigned to him, but Gunther there and his fighter is bad news. Hopefully I can bring the anti-aircraft guns onto him. Okay, I think that'll do. Which units are unmoved? I think it's just ones that are actually... The units that are unmoved, I think, are just the ones that are in cities and such where I'm already happy with their positioning. One French fighter is getting destroyed right now.
Yeah, they are ganging up on him.
I got no money to repair it with, so...
You...
Oh no, I've got some now.
Yeah, usually I have a kind of a basic system for assigning resources, which is basically I tally the number of units, and if it's 37 units on map, you get 37 resources each turn, and if you get reinforcements, this increases a bit. That's my basic system. And then I adjust it up and down after playtesting. So usually you get some resources on turn 2, but usually not enough. Oh, another one.
Here comes the bombers.
Yep. And if I remember correctly, I probably have set the bombers to attack tanks, artillery, and transported units, which is where they do the most damage. Because you can, in the editor, you can select the type of unit you want the air units to concentrate on.
Okay.
It's finished already? That was quick.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's a Didn't notice these units all the way back here. Just wondering if there was another airfield somewhere that I could use that's not so dangerously on the front line.
And I noticed that airfield you just made on. Yeah, you have an anti-aircraft unit as well down there.
Yeah,
And
but
there's a
it's
build.
only half strength, so, and I don't think it's got transport. So
No. You have to keep it near the field, and that's also historical.
Um, okay, I don't have much choice but to land it. It's dead in the air. Oh well, at least this anti-aircraft gun is good.
Yeah, they're usually quite strong. They can easily take like 3 strength points off an air unit. But usually you want one low caliber and one larger one, because the larger one are good for the bombers, and the 20, 30, 40 millimeters are good for attacking fighters. But that's luxury.
Pew pew pew.
Yeah, every little bit helps.
Decided to sneak my bombers around the bottom of the map to avoid the fighter onslaught. Let's see if that
Yep.
works.
One thing in the editor which I'm kind of missing is the ability to put fighters on escort mission, which means they would always move and stay next to a bomber unit.
Okay.
Then the AI will be better protecting the bombers. Because they are usually they are out on their own, and if you have a few fighters, you can attack them and not be afraid of nearby enemy fighters.
Building the wall here. I'd love to get rid of this bridge actually. I wonder.
Has it already moved? That
Yep.
engineer unit?
But if they hold out for one more turn, I can detonate these bridges, and that will be very helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. I must admit, I don't favor defensive engagements. I always find them to be a bit of a nightmare. I like to be on the attack, but that's probably not a wise move here.
I hear you. I like that as well. But it's often it can be a bit more of a challenge actually playing a good defense, like a delaying tactic and stuff. That's a hard one to do, probably. Especially if you have an aggressive, strong attacker like the Germans normally are. But what you can do here is that after I see that there are some Germans coming in from the east side now. When the Germans are hurt a bit, then you can launch your counterattacks if when you have the proper armored units behind your defense line. Oh, here comes here
Here
comes the
comes the
cavalry.
Germans.
Yep.
It looks like they're all going south.
Okay. Let's see how that defense line works now.
You sound like you knew this was going to happen.
Well, historically, that happened really. The Germans were very good at breaking through. They will send in their panzers first to get behind enemy lines, and then the infantry follow up. So it's nice to see that the AI is behaving like a real German.
That AA gun is super busy. he's no employee has ever had so much work as this AA gun. They're not getting many kills though. The AA gun is actually working. Yeah, this thing does not have any hope because it's got no transport. The bridge is out! Okay.
Yeah, it's very difficult to do any damage to those German panzers. You need a Stuka to do that.
What? I'm wondering why this unit is not attacking.
This is the
it's a
this
scout
is the yeah, it's the recon. So they are a peaceful little unit.
Yeah, this Air Force sucks. But hey.
Oh, you need to find some German artillery or units being transported. Then you can let's do a little bit of damage.
Wow, if they come down the bottom here, they've got to go through this really tiny choke point. I can respond to that, so that's not a big deal. Okay. Guess I'll just sit on my line some more. The destruction of that bridge will be super helpful. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this defensive line, I think. These bombers are all over me, but fortunately the anti-aircraft gun working overtime here has actually stopped quite a lot of damage. It's been surprisingly effective. You know, if they maneuver their whole army down there, I could just cut them off. I could just plow forward and cut that tiny conga line that they're using as their supply route.
Yeah, they are kind of vulnerable. Those guys in the tin cans. And cutting supply is so effective in this game. Almost too much.
Man, look at all these planes. This anti-aircraft gun is getting so many kills, it is ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's not entirely historical correct, because anti-aircraft, they kind of work by making so much noise and disturbance that the bombers weren't able to drop their bombs at the correct positions, not by shooting down a whole lot of airplanes. So it would kind of maybe be better if they reduced effectiveness of the bombers more than killing them. Like the Strat bombers do on ground units. Work the same way.
That's a
Are
turkey
you
shoot.
Sorry?
It's a turkey shoot. The
Yeah.
planes.
Good old-fashioned Mariana's turkey shoots.
Okay. Not bad.
I'm not able to add anything in the chat. I think I need to
No,
sign
you
up
need
first.
an account, but it doesn't matter because they can hear you talking to me. So.
Yeah, that's why I've been talking, because I was originally adding some answers here, but then no, and I'm afraid that if I try to sign up, then I'll lose the connection and everything. So someone is asking about the U.S. Navy mod. My U.S. Navy campaign is not a mod yet, but I'm moving it over to the naval mod to be able to mod it, but I haven't done it yet. I need to finish my Stalingrad campaign for this Micromod first. I am working on the final scenario. Yeah. Are they able to break through, the Germans? No. Get him.
He's in big trouble.
Yeah.
Like this is like
Yeah.
this was a suicide move. This was.
Yeah, and you will almost be able to kill him off.
So many enemy planes.
Yeah, the AA truck that you use there, that's a modded unit, and I've used the Italian unit type as just for the 3D model. So that's one thing. If you, for any of you graphic whiz kids out there, you could probably make your own models of equipment. But for me, I can hardly draw a stickman. I need to borrow or steal. So I use I use already present unit types, which kind of looks like the one I'm after, whether it's a air unit or a mechanized unit of some sort, and then I adjust the stats for that unit type, and yeah, it works okay. Although you suddenly see this khaki yellow unit in among all the green French units, and it looks a bit odd, but it works. It works in the game, okay. Oh, don't do it.
I think I might be able to, once I kill this, I might be able to just swing behind and actually cut them all off.
Cut off, yeah.
Their axis of advance is looking really fragile, and it's tempting me to action.
Yeah, go for it. You already said that you like to be on the attacking side.
I can't hold back my aggression. It's impossible. I'm such an aggressive player.
Yeah, me too. And I always I get burned playing multiplayer because I really like to go for it, and then it bites me in the ass.
Probably should have repaired that anti-aircraft gun earlier, but didn't have a lot of money. Withdrawing my fighter early actually saved it from being destroyed by this horde of planes. And now they've taken so much flak damage that actually, where before my fighter would have struggled to do anything, now it's actually got the advantage.
I see that. Yeah.
So,
good move.
Yeah, it wasn't entirely an intended move, but it's worked out in my favor. How the Belgians can provide some utility by making foxholes.
Yeah, and making foxholes like that, I think that is part of my mod. I've taken some of the specializations that that I think may as well be global, like not specific Japanese or German or something. I add them to the other factions because I think it's more variety when you play, when you can do things like that. Create
120mm TR gun. Woo.
Yeah.
What a beast.
Yeah, that's a beast. I think it's using. It's a real gun. It's a real gun, and I think it's using the Soviet artillery model.
Cool.
So that's one of the joys of modding things, that you got so many tools, toys to play with.
I need to lose some units to have the deployment space for more anti-aircraft guns.
Yeah, because you got no spare slots. You could downgrade a unit, like a heavy infantry unit, make it an engineer unit, and then you free up 2 command points.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
If I take some losses, I might.
Yeah, that's another way to free up some command points. Take losses.
So we're probably not going to have time to finish this scenario anyway. But do you carry your core throughout this campaign? How long is this campaign?
How many scenarios? At least 12, I think. I usually try to do as well as you guys when you create stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
Let me check.
I mean, 12 scenarios sounds great.
I think that's the standard when you for the officials campaigns. And let's see, France. Oh, 20.
20 scenarios. Wow.
20 scenarios.
You
And
don't even remember how much work you've done.
no, yeah, I mean, I think I've created like 200, 300 scenarios altogether. So, and then the French campaign ends with Dunkirk. So you will not be able to push the German back across the border. It follows a fairly historical path.
Oh, the fighters have finally figured out what's going on.
Yeah. So I noticed the AI it likes to gang up on a single air unit. I even seen it in one match where the AI placed 6 fighter units around a single player unit. It went down.
Our friend the AA gun is once again raking in the badges of honor.
Yeah, it's quite effective.
I think he's killed about 20 planes.
There's a single German air unit with only 2 strength points left there, I noticed.
Oh, the anti-aircraft gun has been ripping him apart turn after turn. This is what, in military terms, I call a conga line of death. It looks like it's going to turn around, though. It looks like the danger has been realized.
It's moving north again, yeah.
Because, ouch, that hurt. Hang on, I'm just waiting for these turns to finish before I finish my thought. That foxhole got a lot of kills before it went down.
Probably the Germans were ambushed. If they didn't start next to the foxhole, then they didn't see it and they ran right into it.
Yeah, so we're not quite done yet. Man, that heavy infantry did a lot of damage, all things considered.
Yeah, they are quite strong. They're quite strong. You still need to destroy 8 panzers. It's your primary objective.
Wow, this infantry is getting mullered for its efforts. Yeah, so a conga line of death is when someone moves all of their units down a road in a completely straight line, which just allows it to be attacked from every angle.
Yeah.
And doesn't really make for a great defense.
And you know, commanders do that in real life as well. Today in Ukraine, I remember the Soviets had these long columns of vehicles and mechanized and traffic jam, and most of them were destroyed. So it's kind of the same situation. Don't go in a long, thin, straight line. You need to watch out for your flanks and make sure that you don't get cut off. I really like this thing about order of battle. It may be harsh, but it's a good lesson.
They've left me opportunities here to attack, and so I'm taking them. I'm actually inflicting really massive losses on their support stuff here.
Yeah, they are kind of vulnerable, but they're still sitting in the trucks there.
Oh, that had to hurt. I gotta kill tanks, but I'm killing everything else.
Yeah, because it's easier.
Right, let's deal with this boy. Toasty! Right, I'm just gonna fix my front line, because the AI doesn't actually usually spend money on fixing their units, and that is something you can exploit.
Yeah, that kind of depends. I've seen in a lot of official scenarios that the AI has it does not have too many resources to repair. It looks like by design, and because if you give the AI many resources, it will repair, but then it gets really hard to eliminate units because they'll retreat and they will rebuild, and you have these 3-4 strength units on low efficiency around the map. So I can see why that can get a bit annoying, of course. So
Yeah,
then you want to starve the AI so it doesn't do that.
in terms of scenario design, I think that's like the issue is the amount of turns that you have. More often than not, the turn deadline is very tight,
Mm.
and so units need to go down and stay down, if you know what I mean, in order for the player to actually meet the tight timelines that they've got to actually complete missions. If the scenario had a lot more turns, then it wouldn't matter so much if the AI was given the freedom to repair constantly, because you could just carry on fighting the fight and grind them down over time. If you see what I mean.
Yeah, I agree, and it may be a difficult balance because you don't want too many turns. I mean, normally 20-25 is that's enough turns in one scenario. But I just published a new market garden scenario, and it has 85 turns, and it's a 4-player scenario. And that means that every player really has to be a kind of dedicated to the game. I tried, and I like as few turns as possible to do the job, so it doesn't carry on and on and on, and it's like rinse repeat. You do the same thing every turn. The scenario is basically finished. You have won, but you need to clean up all the corners of the map and so on. So it's sometimes it's difficult to kind of massage the scenario into few enough turns and enough action and not repetitive type of play. But it's not always easy to do that.
I might just sacrifice these recons.
What?
I really don't like recons in Order of Battle. I've never gotten on with them.
They can be quite useful, especially when you really don't want to go straight into an ambush with your tank units, which they are not able to see that enemy laying in wait in dense woods or something. So I at first in the very beginning when I played the Order of Battle, I try to I like to purchase infantry, armor, artillery. That was my basic stuff. Reckoned and anti-aircraft not so much, but I found that a balanced force where you're kind of prepared for everything the enemy throws at you, that is better in the long run.
Well, you say that, but
yeah, I know.
you
I just
you
that.
say that, but I've never gotten on with recons because I just find that they become prestige sinks for me in that they take a lot of damage, they do very little damage, they can't take territory, and so while they give you the information, I find that, like a scout plane does that better, if you know what I mean, or light infantry does that better than the recon does, and those things are cheaper and more dangerous to the enemy and not so easy to just constantly hurt, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I see that, but then again, a recon unit is usually only 2 command points, so it's usually cheap. So what I usually do, and I kind of follow your thoughts. I buy all the stuff that I really need to win the game first, and if I have resources and a few command points left over, then I add a recon unit. If I know then there will be enemy area units, of course, an extra air unit as well, anti-air unit, sorry, as well. So for me also, it's kind of recon units are kind of like an afterthought. A recon unit won't win the game for you.
I'm surprised that unit is still in supply, considering I had a recon unit actually blocking the tile. See, that's the issue.
Yeah, actually that recon units can't change ownership of location.
Yeah, but they don't also block supply when they're sat on the tile that they're sat on, which can be
They,
really annoying when you're trying to surround something.
yeah. They should, at least they should block supply. Agree, that would help a lot for them, because then could use it to get behind enemy lines and cut supply. That they would be really useful. Are you listening, Shards?
Yeah.
Are you still with us?
Are you still here, Shards? Are you listening? We're talking to you.
Oh, I think he went home.
He might watch the rest of it later. Who knows? So far, it's going pretty well, I think. I've not taken much damage.
No, I think your overall strategy was sound. Let the enemy come to me, and I'll get them in the end.
If they repaired... No. I'm like, if they repaired those, no. Blowing those bridges is going to stop any misbehavior. This anti-aircraft gun is just having a great time. I wonder how many kills has he had? Total damage 37. That's insane.
That is really insane.
37 damage. It's crazy. What a beast. He's already got 1,782 experience points. He's seen like a campaign's worth of anti-aircraft work in 5 turns. Do what I can with my fighters. Okay, as we sort of wind down on the amount of time we have left on the show, is there anything else you want to plug while I'm busy destroying the Germans?
Not really. The only thing is that if you haven't played a campaign or scenario that was modded, if you've never done that, I think you should try it and try to pick, because then you can pick a battle or a campaign that is not done too often. So it's a bit of a, like this France 1940. There are not that many games that cover it. So it's kind of a different experience than you do the Bulge or the Market Gardens, and which has been done hundreds of times, those games.
Yeah,
so
you're not wrong about the Bulge.
Yeah. So of course it's a little bit of work to install it. But I think that Slytherin has done a good job of making it easy enough. You have one folder that you need to put into another folder, and then you start it up.
The Belgians got a kill.
What?
They did.
Well.
Look, see?
Okay. So they will get waffled when they get home then. Good boys.
There you go.
I see that my grocery is being delivered now in 2 minutes, so I need to go downstairs.
Okay, that's I guess that's a perfect time to finish, because we're not going to finish this mission anyway. Obviously,
Yeah.
it'll go on for a long time, but I would probably slightly change my strategy here. But actually, I think what I've done is, you know, pretty solid. I mean, the Germans are getting wrecked here.
Yeah, good.
This guy on the
Okay.
river tile is in trouble as well. So thank you for coming on. Thanks for being on What Is Your Mod? And thanks for making these mods. And we'll get those links in the description of the video when it eventually goes to our YouTube channel and all the rest of it. And obviously
Yeah.
you live on our forums, so we'll point people there as well.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
It's
Thanks,
been nice.
everybody. Yeah.
It's been nice. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks everybody for watching What Is Your Mod? This is Micromod, a French campaign, an extremely rare French campaign. Very few games covered the French. In fact, I can't even think of any. So very few is probably none. Answers in the comments about games that have covered the French in World War II. Not many, for sure. And I want to say, well, I'm very much having fun here. That that is it for the show now that our guest has had to retire. So thank you all once again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.